And we are missing a picture. Give me 1 second, it's loading. There we go. Alright, found me. Okay, so how you guys doing? My name's Robert Johnston. I'm also known as the Preacher. Welcome to my channel. Normally I make music videos, but lately I've been doing this thing called Str8 Talk. Now, here, today, we're going to talk about signs, symptoms, treatment, everything that we need to talk about to know what exactly the overview of a narcissist is. The reason why I'm having these things is because, much like a lot of people in this world, you don't know when you're dealing with a narcissist and the consequences that could follow, how it can ruin your psyche, and it just, so much bad stuff that can happen. Not always. There's ways to cope and deal with it. So I'm doing a part series. I've already released 2 different videos. I'm trying to get the description to be more accurate for what's discussed for them. But today we're going to go over the overview of it all, of what exactly a narcissist is, and like symptoms and stuff. So, as I've said before, I am not a doctor, I'm not a counselor, I'm nothing of that sort. However, today's special episode is all from medical college, the medical college thingamajiggy there. So I was given a lot of information from counselors and stuff. I'm part of a couple groups now trying to deal with the emotional toll that I'm struggling with a depression disorder as well as an anxiety disorder. They say it gets easier. I'm hoping it does. I had to put myself through a lot of meditation just to get to the point that I'm at now, where I'm able to discuss this without getting too personal about myself, but just to raise awareness. Okay, so another thing is, someone has tried writing to me before. I read off my notepad where I take my notes. So I have it set up now where I can actually see the chat and I can see my note thing. So if you guys have any questions or you want to say anything, by all means, throw it in there. Hopefully I'll catch you out the corner of my eye and be able to answer anything. Okay, so I guess let's begin. So this is how do I do this? So this is going to be the overview. There is a lot to go over. Like, one of the things that I originally thought, based on stuff that I read on the internet, and that's why you don't go by the internet, is to be a narcissist you have to go through childhood trauma. That's not true. It's actually not true at all. You might have narcissistic tendencies if you were raised by a narcissist or something, but like, we're going to try to find a full-blown out narcissist. Now, one thing I will say is that addiction empowers them. It amplifies, right? So you could be with somebody and you have your off day here and there, but it's nothing to really like think about. But once drugs, sometimes even alcohol, gets involved, it can amplify all of the tendencies, and then you're not so much having tendencies of an narcissist, but you are a narcissist. Like, so let's dive in, shall we? So it is a personality disorder. It is like a mental thing. So keep this in mind. It's one of several types. Narcissistic personality disorder is one of several types of personality disorders. It's a mental condition in which people have an inflated sense of their own importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, troubled relationships, and lack of empathy for others. But behind this mask of extreme confidence lies a fragile self-esteem that is vulnerable to the slightest criticism. A narcissistic personality disorder causes problems in many areas of life, such as relationships, work, school, financial affairs. People with narcissistic personality disorders may be generally unhappy and disappointed when they're not given the special favors or admiration they believe they deserve. They may find their relationships unfulfilling, and others may not enjoy being around them. Treatment for narcissistic personality disorder centers around talk therapy or psychotherapy. Right? So it is a mental thing. The symptoms, I'm going to read off all the symptoms. They vary with people. The signs and symptoms of personality disorder and the severity of the symptoms vary. People with that disorder can have an exaggerated sense of self-importance, have a sense of entitlement and require constant excessive admiration, expect to be recognized as a superior even without achievement that warrants it, exaggerate achievements and talents, be preoccupied with fantasies about success, power, brilliance, beauty of the perfect mate, believe they are superior and can only associate with equally special people, monopolize conversations and belittle or look down on people they perceive as inferior, expect special favors and unquestioning compliance with their expectations, take advantage of others to get what they want, have an inability or unwillingness to recognize the needs and feelings of others, be envious of others and believe others envy them, behave in an arrogant or haughty manner, coming across as conceited, boastful, pretentious, insist on having the best of everything, like for instance the best car or office. At the same time, people with narcissistic personality disorder have trouble handling anything they perceive as criticism, and they can become impatient or angry when they don't receive special treatment, have significant interpersonal problems and easily feel slighted, react with rage or contempt and try to belittle the other person to make themselves appear superior, have difficulty regulating emotions and behavior, experience major problems dealing with stress and adapting to change, feel depressed and moody because they fall short of perfection, have a secret feeling of insecurity, shame, vulnerability, and humiliation. Okay, so when to see the doctor? People with a narcissistic personality disorder may not want to think that anything could be wrong, so they may be unlikely to seek treatment. If they do seek treatment, it's more likely to be for symptoms of depression, drug or alcohol use, or other mental health problems, but perceived insults to self-esteem may make it difficult to accept and follow through with treatment. If you recognize aspects of your personality that are common to narcissistic personality disorder, or you're feeling overwhelmed by sadness, consider reaching out to a trusted doctor or a mental health provider. Getting the right treatment can make your life more rewarding and enjoyable. Now, I mentioned that it can take a toll on you if you're in a relationship or something. So, myself, because of what I'm going through, I already had a major depression disorder and trust issues and stuff like that. I'm now with the Canadian Mental Health Association again. I've been with them for a while now, a few months actually. I've been working with someone else since about May, but for the past like 3 months I've been working with another person as well, and then there's a program I'm part of as well as a group. That's how badly my psyche got from what I've endured, like a year straight of being mentally abused, and it sucks because the 6 years prior to that, I love this person and I love it. Now the reason why I dove into this is because I had to ask, like, the people I'm getting treated by, like, is it possible that I'm a narcissist, because I keep getting told I am. And when we go over the facts of everything, it's like, no, I'm not, but the person that's telling you you are is. And it's like, okay, that sucks. Just because of certain things I've read on other episodes and all that, it's like they pretend to be something, someone, they make this person up. It's like nothing's real about them. But like I said, it was only for the past year, and that's when certain things came into play, which amplified the other stuff. So I'm hoping that like the love part that they actually may have like loved was real, because that's the part that's really taking a toll on me right now. I hope to go home soon. I really hope to go home soon. I'm unfortunately dealing with court casing and trials and stuff, and when I win this case, I'm going home. Like, I miss my family, and I have already forgiven the person. I just can't talk to them right now, but I've already forgiven them because I know it's a mental condition. So I'm a very empathic person, and you know, they say that if you're in a relationship with someone that's a narcissist and you get out of it, don't look back. You just keep going. I can't, because I know she's a good person. She actually is a good person. It's just this thing that happened changed her, and of course I get blamed for it. But anyways, so some of the causes, right? It's not known what causes narcissistic personality disorder, as which personality development and with other mental health disorders, the cause of narcissistic personality disorder is likely complex. Narcissistic personality disorder may be linked to environment, mismatched parent-child relationship with either excessive adoration or excessive criticism that is poorly attuned to the child's experience, genetics, inherited characteristics, or neurobiology, the connection between the brain and the behavior and thinking. Okay, so risk factors to that are the narcissistic personality disorder affects more males than females, and is often it begins in the teens or early adulthood. Keep in mind that although some children may show traits of narcissism, this may simply be typical of their age and doesn't mean they'll go on to develop narcissistic personality disorder. Now, although the cause of narcissistic personality disorder isn't known, some researchers think that in biologically vulnerable children, parenting styles that are overprotective or neglectful may have an impact. Genetics are neurobiology and may also play a role in development of narcissistic personality disorder. So, here are the complications and other conditions that can occur along with it. Can include relationship difficulties, problems at work or school, depression and anxiety. That's why I had to ask, because I have major depression disorder and anxiety disorder now. Physical health problems, drug or alcohol misuse, suicidal thoughts or behavior. Okay, so these are just some of the complications. Prevention. Because the cause of narcissistic personality disorder is unknown, there's no known way to prevent the condition. However, it may help to get treatment as soon as possible for childhood mental health problems. Participate in family therapy to learn healthy ways to communicate or to cope with conflict or emotional distress. Attend parenting class and seek guidance from therapists or social workers if needed. Going back to the second one, like, she wants to get a divorce, I'm pretty sure, and I want counseling so she can hear from other people. As crazy as it sounds, it's almost like I know that if other people talking, she might like show respect to more. And when you have a room full of people that are there, you know, trying to work on the relationships and all that, and everyone keeps talking about communication, talking, you know, this is what you should do, don't do this. Hearing it from other people instead of me might actually make her try to do something, like communicate, and things would go back to better than they were. Things were really good at one point in time, but they could be better. There was times I'd get upset because I'm trying to communicate, but it seems like she doesn't care, and it's like I wish I like, you know, I love you with all my heart, and you're my soulmate, and I want to. I want you to listen to me right now. Like, I don't ask for much, but it gets very very hard on empathic people. The first episode I did, I talked mostly about empaths and what happens when they're partnered up with a narcissistic personality disorder type of person. And so there's a lot of stuff there that you might want to go back and check. Okay, so anyways, diagnosis. Diagnosis. Can't speak tonight. Some features of narcissistic personality disorder are similar to those of other personality disorders. Also, it's possible to be diagnosed with more than one personality disorder at the same time. This can make diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder more challenging. Diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder typically is based on signs and symptoms, a physical exam to make sure you don't have physical problems causing your symptoms, a thorough psychological evaluation that may include filling out a questionnaire, criteria in a Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, the DSM-5, published by the American Psychiatric Association. Treatment for narcissistic personality disorder is talk therapy, psychotherapy. Medications may be included in your treatment if you have other mental health conditions. Okay, but let's talk about psychotherapy for a second. Narcissistic personality disorder treatment is centered around talk therapy, also called psychotherapy. Psychotherapy can help you learn to relate better with others so your relationships are more intimate, enjoyable, and rewarding. Understand the causes of your emotions and what drives you to compete, to distrust others, and perhaps to despise yourself and others. Areas of change are directed at helping you accept responsibility and learning to accept and maintain real personal relationships with collaborating with coworkers. Recognize and accept your actual competence and potential so you can tolerate criticism or failures. Increase your ability to understand and regulate your feelings. Understand and tolerate the impact of issues related to your self-esteem. Release your desire for unattainable goals and ideal conditions and gain an acceptance of what's attainable and what you can accomplish. Therapy can be short-term to help you manage during times of stress or crisis, or it can be provided as an ongoing basis to help you achieve and maintain your goals. Often including family members or significant others in therapy can be helpful. Okay, so once again, going back to medications, there are no medications specifically used to treat narcissistic personality disorder. However, if you have symptoms of depression, anxiety, or other conditions, medications such as antidepressants or anti-anxiety drugs may be helpful. I am taking those now. So this can go back to cognitive behavior therapy, or the same thing as family therapy. It's there for those who need help. And like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't matter if someone's full-blown narcissistic personality disorder, NPD. They're not going to get the help. They don't need to. They're better than that. They know that they don't have a problem, and that's the problem. Okay, so lifestyle and home remedies. Now, you may feel defensive about treatment or think it's unnecessary. The nature of narcissistic personality disorder can also leave you feeling that therapy is not worth your time and attention, and you may be tempted to quit, but it's important to keep an open mind, focus on the rewards of treatment, stick to the treatment plan, attend scheduled therapy sessions, and take any medication as directed. Remember, it can be hard work and you may have occasional setbacks. Get treatment for alcohol or drug misuse or other mental health problems. Your addictions, depression, anxiety, and stress can feed off of each other, leading to a cycle of emotional pain and unhealthy behavior. Stay focused on your goal. Stay motivated by keeping your goals in mind and reminding yourself that you can work to repair damaged relationships and become more content with your life. Okay? So preparing for your appointment. You may start by seeing your doctor, or your doctor may refer you to a mental health provider, such as a psychiatrist or a psychologist. Now, what you can do before your appointment, make a list of any symptoms you're experiencing, and for how long, to help determine what kind of events are likely to make you feel angry or upset. Key personal information, including traumatic events in your past and any current major stressors. Your medical information, including other physical or mental health conditions with which you've been diagnosed. Any medications, vitamins, herbs, or other supplements you're taking, and the dosages. questions to ask your mental health provider so that you can make the most of your appointment. Right now, if it's the kind that you can take a trusted family member or a friend along, if it's possible, they can help you remember the details. In addition, someone who has known you for a long time may be able to ask helpful questions or share important information as well. Some basic questions to ask your mental health provider include: what type of disorder do you think I have? Could I have other mental health conditions? What is the goal of treatment? What treatments are most likely to be effective for me? How much do you expect my quality of life may improve with treatment? How often will I need therapy sessions and for how long? Would family or group therapy be helpful in my case? Are there medications that can help my symptoms? I have these other health conditions. How can I best manage them together? Are there any brochures or other printed material that I can have? What websites do you recommend? Don't hesitate to ask any other questions during your appointment. Those are just a couple examples, like, of really good questions to ask. What to expect from your mental health provider. To better understand your symptoms and how they're affecting your life, your mental health provider may ask you, what are your symptoms? When do these symptoms occur and how long do they last? How do your symptoms affect your life, including school, work, personal relationship? How do you feel and act when others seem to criticize or reject you? Do you have any close personal relationships? If not, why do you think that is? What are your major accomplishments? What are your major goals for the future? How do you feel when someone needs your help? How do you feel when someone expresses difficult feelings such as fear or sadness to you? How would you describe your childhood, including your relationship with your parents? Have any of your close relatives been diagnosed with a mental health disorder, such as personality disorder? Have you been treated for any other mental health problems? If yes, what treatments were most effective? Do you use alcohol or street drugs? How often? Are you currently being treated for any other medical conditions? Right now, that's your standard questions from the Mayo Clinic. It's one of those things. If you check it out, mayoclinic.org. Set yourself up, and you can actually take. You can get it so that you're having counseling through them, online Zoom meetings, stuff like that too. So it is an avenue that you could take. If you don't want to go to your doctors, you don't want, you know what I mean? Like, it's something. Just to get your own understanding if you are a narcissistic type of individual, or if you just have questions that you want to ask because you think you're with someone like that. Okay, so there is different types of narcissism. While there are several characters of narcissism that may be seen in any of the types of narcissism personalities, narcissists are generally labeled by the most common personality trait they display. Yet your classic narcissism personality, these type of narcissists tend to be attention-seeking and thrive off the admiration and praise of others. These narcissists generally believe they deserve special treatment and are more valuable than other people and crave being the center of attention. These narcissists are self-absorbed, exploitative, and don't mind using other people for anything that fits into their goal or agenda, and become offended easily if others try to deny them anything they think they deserve. Then you have your seductive narcissism. As the name suggests, this type of narcissist personality does whatever they can do to make you feel good about yourself, at least at first. These narcissists may appear to admire you and may even idolize you, but their main goal is to make you feel that way about them so that they can be used to further their agenda to take advantage of you. Someone who has seductive narcissism generally wants your admiration and will flatter you to get what they want. Don't be fooled though. When a seductive narcissist no longer needs you to compliment or stroke their ego, these narcissists may leave you and move on to the new target. One way to tell whether someone with a narcissism is being sincere with you, and they likely are not, is to watch how they treat others. The way someone with narcissism talks about or treats former co-workers, friends, or even former romantic partners is a good indication of how you will be treated when you are no longer needed. Vulnerable narcissism. Make no mistake, this type of narcissist personality, contrary to the name, is not vulnerable. Vulnerable narcissists are, however, very good at playing the vulnerable victim act and pretending to have that vulnerable personality trait. Someone with vulnerable narcissism seeks attention by trying to get pity from others. People with this personality are very manipulative. Their behavior is often so subtle that it can be difficult to spot the warning signs. A person with vulnerable narcissism personality tends to use their ability to manipulate the feelings, thoughts, and behaviors of others to help fuel their own ego trip. If a person sees through this type of narcissistic behavior, he or she will likely act hurt or offended and will then move on to another unsuspecting target. Covert narcissism. When you think of a covert narcissist, think of a covert or secret military operation, also known as the closet narcissism. This type of mental health disorder is exhibited in ways that are planned, calculated, and generally comes as a surprise. This is exactly how a person with covert narcissism acts. This type of narcissist often uses guilt tripping and emotional manipulation to get what they want. This personality type will study, then belittle their partner and deprive them of physical or emotional needs until they get what they want. When someone with covert narcissism does get what he wants or she wants, they will then show affection or buy gifts to gain more control over their partner. As opposed to overt narcissism, which is quite clear to others, covert narcissism is not an easy to spot. These types of people are very good at masking their manipulative personality so that it is not detected by others. They come across as charming and use that charm to seduce and manipulate others into acting for their own purposes. Now, the covert narcissism, that's what my wife kept saying I was. Knowing the different types here, it's like she's a mixture of them to me. I'm gonna back up to like classic, seductive, the vulnerable, and the covert. Like, just so this is just in the past year, like, just so much. Okay, so there's one called like grandiose narcissism personality disorder. The narcissist with a grandiose personality tends to see themselves as more influential and important than anyone else. People with this personality may exaggerate their importance and brag about accomplishments to elicit your admiration or envy. This is seen as overt narcissism. Someone with grandiose narcissism generally believes that they are destined to do great things and can be judgmental or overly critical towards the people around them. This type of narcissist is very driven and charismatic, often drawing the attention of others, which is what feeds their all about me personality. The charisma with which a person with a grandiose or overt narcissism personality pursues goals may leave others feeling the need to compete for attention. However, this is not recommended. Anytime a grandiose narcissist is challenged, the personality will likely increase efforts to be the most superior. Okay. The malignant narcissist personality disorder, also known as antagonistic narcissism. This type of narcissism is defined by someone who is incapable of showing any empathy or compassion towards others. People with this malignant narcissism are often called sociopaths or psychopaths. A person with a malignant narcissism is very controlling of the people in their lives and put forth strong efforts to isolate their victim or target. This type of narcissism is hard to hide and could be categorized as overt narcissism. She wasn't like that. I can say that. The whole no empathy is the main thing, because I've seen her actually do that. But like I said before, sometimes when a narcissist thinks that you're onto them, that they'll do a random act of kindness that makes you think there's no way they're a narcissist. They're doing stuff like that. So But no, for this, I don't. No, I don't think so. People with the antagonistic narcissism rarely feel guilt or remorse, no matter how much pain or anxiety they cause for others. That what makes me question. Like maybe she was. She never cared about what how I felt when she made me upset. Um, on the contrary, people with this personality are usually driven by the feeling of complete control and may enjoy causing pain for others. Watching people struggle and feel oppressed gives people with malignant narcissism an opportunity to play the hero and then set a victim up to be hurt again. The vindictive narcissist. Vindictive may very well be an understatement. If you challenge a person with vindictive narcissism, they will do everything they can to destroy you with their aggression. Someone with vindictive narcissism may gossip about you to her friends and try to break up friendships. They love to play victim to bosses and try to get their targets fired. If you're married to someone with vindictive narcissism, don't be surprised if they try to turn your children against you through constant criticism of your behavior. Unfortunately, vindictive narcissists are very good at hiding their true nature and intentions from others. Therefore, if you suspect that someone you know has vindictive narcissism, try to distance yourself from their contemptuous actions as soon as possible. Save emails, texts, or other communications that can prove that the person with narcissism is harassing you or trying to harm you. While this may seem a bit extreme to some, once the damage is done by someone with vindictive narcissism, it is often difficult to undo it. And it sucks. So what do you do when you spot these different kinds of personality disorders? Right? Well, people with narcissistic personality types do not believe that anything is wrong with them, and they will rarely seek treatment. So as with most mental disorders, experts say that narcissism exists on a spectrum. While some people may show narcissistic tendencies like being condescending and rude, this does not necessarily mean that they have narcissistic personality disorder. This behavior could be attributed to something else, like growing up with a narcissistic parent. Just make sure that you have a proper understanding of this disorder before labeling a person with improper feedback. So, like, with that being said, like when I was given this list, put on my wall and told I was a narcissist, while she's on a smear campaign. A smear campaign is when they smear your name. They talk so much shit about you. They block you on social media, but they're like talking so much shit on you everywhere, making videos and like stuff like that, like TikTok, playing victim, saying that they're being abused and this and that. And it's none of it's real. It's the attention, right? Like they're out to hurt the person. And they have no remorse. They can go and go have an affair or cheat on the person that they're with, and they'll just deny. But if you catch them red-handed, they might feel a little bit bad about that because you caught them. But other than that, they don't care. They don't have the ability to be empathic at all, and it sucks, especially when you're an empathic person and you thought that you were with someone who showed empathy. So it's like you start questioning, like, did you ever love me, or was I always being used? And now it's like you just crushed more. It's like, what do you do? If you're a workaholic and you're with a narcissist, it ain't gonna work. You can't give them the attention they want. So if you love the person, change your job. I started a family business for the person I love, and she quit. I should have quit then too. Bills had to get paid though. I'm willing to quit. I started a website just so I can try to have money accumulating without having to go to work, without having to do anything. The incident that had me charged and everything happened like on like the second month I was building this thing. It took me like 4 months to build this thing. One person. Rome wasn't built in a day. So I came up with solutions, and unfortunately, it's set up, like it's running. I've made money off it now. I'm actually in the plus instead of the hey, monthly fees. So I'm quite content with how it's going. I should probably advertise it so I can get some more sales or something. But I'm doing this for my family. I have nothing but free time now, but she's keeping my kids from me. And it's like, this is my punishment for what? Because her son came and told me the things that she was saying to the kids, and as far as I'm concerned, it was mentally abusing them, like, you know, saying that their dad doesn't love them and he's not coming back and doesn't like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't do stuff like that. The day that I got arrested, I called police officers to ask for help to get my kids out of the house, because she was holding my 4-year-old saying, your dad's a piece of shit, isn't he? Yeah, your dad's a piece of shit, while I'm trying to fix something. And I was trying to level the new fridge. And then when I started playing with my 5-year-old, she walks up to her and says, soak it up, your dad's trying to make up for all the time that he neglects you. And that's basically like, okay, you know what? And that was it. Like, she tripped that trigger in my head where it was just like, fuck you. Like, you don't talk bad about the other parent in front of kids, right? You know what? Just because I'm bringing that up, maybe I'll read one of my other things, the 10 tips for co-parenting. But first, I want to read the main differences between a narcissistic male and female. Okay, so like, they're both capable of being what they are. Like, if you actually have the personality disorder, right? But here's some examples of differences. Okay, male narcissists use outward and destructive modes to control others. When they are angry, they tend to be aggressive and explosive. Female narcissists are generally more scheming, passive aggressive, and manipulative. When they are mad, they punish their victims by withholding attention and affection. The male narcissist is more likely to believe that money gives them power, control, success, status, and related conditions. They are preoccupied with obtaining money at all costs, including stealing it from their loved ones. Female narcissists enjoy excessively spending money frivolously. Narcissistic males, as fathers, belittle and shame their children's mistakes, vulnerability, failures, or limitation, yet brag about them to their friends. They often discriminate among their children and give love and attention to the golden child only. The other children are left feeling inadequate, unworthy, and insecure. On the other hand, females view their kids as an extension of themselves, even well in adulthood, and may employ the same abuse but in covert ways. The female narcissist projects herself as the victim whose pain is greater than anyone else's pain. Their efforts and sacrifices are bigger than anyone else. Male narcissists might be more outwardly recognizable, but female narcissists tend to be more manipulative socially and are just as vindictive as male narcissists. They tend to play the victim, but overly jealous and competitive, superficial, and overbearing. Male narcissists can dominate others via manipulation or mind games, whereas female narcissists use their sexual charm to get what they want. So that's the overview of a narcissist. Now, as I just said, I'm gonna this stuff I had to look up. Once you realize, like, the acceptance that you have to accept that, like, your partner is a narcissist. And I was warned from the first time she called me one. As I told my buddy, I'm like, look at that. She called me a narcissist, man. I didn't even know what it meant, so I had to look it up, and I'm like, this isn't me, like, at all. He goes, that's not good. He goes, a lot of people, when they do the things that you guys have been doing, he kind of warned us ahead of time, because it's, you know, he cares about us. He doesn't want to see our relationship end or whatever. And she got respect for him when he said that. But she's like, no, it won't. Things changed the moment I said I didn't want to do that stuff anymore. That's when things really changed. But anyways, where's I want to go with that? There's just so much that it sucks. There was a usage of drugs that amplified the yourself, like, you know, like your tendencies, like everything, like, that's just what it does. So instead of it just being like, you know, not even close to questionable whether or not I'm married to a narcissist, because there was never really signs of her being one, Like looking back on things, yeah, there was like hints here and there, but not signs. Um, she went full blown narcissist on me, and it hurts. Like the incident happened all the way back in July 12th and 13th, and unfortunately, like I'm I'm not normal. I get the projectile visions, like a very wild imagination where it's like I can actually literally see shit happening in front of me. Um, when people are telling me stuff or whatever, and sometimes I just start seeing stuff that's just weird. Uh, but anyways, I can see everything else that's around too, but it's like almost like there's a projector on my forehead, and it just starts letting me watch these scenarios and scenes and all that. And anywho, yeah, there's just so much stuff that sucks. So here's 10 tips to co-parent with a narcissist, right? Um, this is if unfortunately you have to call it quits and go your separate ways. Um, this is unfortunately it's like now that I've done all the research that I have, I now know how to deal with her, and that's the part that sucks. Like she wants control, she wants admiration. There was never an issue before until I started working. If I don't work, I can give her all that again. I can be a better dad because I'm there providing love instead of paying for bills and stuff like that. I can be there for my children. That's the goal, is to be there for my kids. That's why I made the website and stuff. Um, I can easily cancel the family business. It's nothing to do that. It's just a painting company, anyways. You know. I hope it's not too late. But at the same time, for all I know, because she's like smearing my name, she could be playing victim. Like, you're trying to get the attention. What guy's going to try to save you this time? Because that's what I thought I did when it came to her ex, how we met and everything. And it's like, it scares me. My anniversary is in 3 days, and I'm not allowed talking to her. And if I try to make any attempt to talk to her, she's quick to call the police. And it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, she could have dropped the no contact order and just told me straight up, like, okay, you can come get the kids. This is so that we can communicate about the kids. But we're done. Like, she could have done that. But no, that doesn't play into the role of her being I'm this victim. But she's making statuses about maybe a new relationship to move forward. Time for a new relationship to move forward. And it's like, you've given hints that you were having an affair before because I was working too much. Number one. Number two, it's like you're trying to get a rise out of me or something like that, so that if I try to contact you, you can call the police again. There's been 2 occasions now that she's had me arrested where she's handing in information, but she's not handing in full information. So it's like I provide the rest of the information, and it's like, okay, well, got you out of jail because you had that, but the charges are still there because the police charged you. So you have to deal with court. It's great. It's just fucking great. I'll have a lawsuit against the police department once all the charges are dropped in my trial, because I told the officer over and over I had evidence that I was innocent, and he's like, I don't care, I'm still going to arrest you. I called the police for a child safety concern, and I got arrested, and the kid stayed in her care. Her kid tells me about the mental abuse that mom is doing on them. I went up one side of her and down the other side. She's not let me see my kids since. Oh, sorry. I had to start going to the children's aid for my visits, and then out of nowhere she stopped after I got told I don't have to go there because it's been proven that I never abused my kids, because that's one of the things she tried saying I did. She wouldn't let me see my kids, and I had a theory of why she is the way she is, because after a suicide attempt and for attention, and something that her daughter had posted that she showed me, a dark entity that was in her house. I said to the daughter, like, look at, because I'm native, go burn cedar if you can. Go find cedar, see if mom will burn it, just to see, because I had a theory. Well, she made it sound like it's very concerning. She now has it so um, I can't see my kids, which is dumb. And then the killer of it all is I sent 5 videos the next day to Kaylee and all that, just saying, reminding her, like, if mom would have done this, like, if you would have told mom to, mom, go drop the no contact, then I would have been able, I can pick you guys up anytime. By the last video, because it was like dual messaging, I was sending videos, I only get 1 minute at a time. The last video I said, but no matter what, though, you can't say nothing to mom, because if you say anything, I get in trouble. Well, that was the 5th video. The 5th video that she never showed the police officer. So I got charged with a breach. That's how much, like, I'm being punished. I called her fake the day that I was arrested, because she was acting fake. I called her out on everything. I called her toxic and just everything. And because of that, she's probably already moved on. I think she was having an affair on me in the first place, but it sucks. Because now that I know she is the way she is, if I'm not working, if I just quit my jobs, I would be able to give her the attention she wants and needs, like I used to. We'd sit there all day while the kids were in school and like play Black Ops together, and she was much more superior than I was with that, and I admired her for it. Maybe that's one of the main things that she loved about me. I miss that kind of stuff. I used to stroke her face every single day, like all night. I'd put my hand on her face and stroke it, or her stomach, and just, it's the only way I could fall asleep peacefully. It's when she started doing things like to get me upset and not give a fuck that she got me upset. When she started mentally abusing me, calling me names and stuff like that, like for no reason, small things like that, it started taking a toll on me. It started adding up. It got to the point where it's like I'm getting numb from all this. I love you with all my heart, but you just treat me like I'm a piece of shit every day, and I don't know why. And without communication, proper communication, can never figure it out. But whenever she thought that I was, like, she was getting lost, or I was losing her, so, like, she was, like, I think you know what I mean. Like, if she felt like I'm at the point where I don't care anymore if I lose her, which I never got to that point, she would do something to show affection or show love to make sure that I didn't lose her. And it's like, I wish you'd be like this all the time. Like, I just wish it was like this more often. She says she's not an affectionate person, said it from the beginning, but to me it looks like she was. It felt like she was, because she would accept things. Like, I used to kiss her on the forehead almost every single day, at least once, and she'd come in for it. She'd lean forward for it. I miss it. I miss doing that. Like, that's all I keep dealing with every single day for the past like 4 months is get stuck with my memories. And it just, I try to tell myself, stop thinking about it, stop thinking about it. No, I work by myself, and same thing, I keep telling myself, like, just focus on work. Then you get into that zone and you just, anyway, sorry, I had to let some of that out, I guess. So let's talk about co-parenting, okay? Co-parenting is hard. Co-parenting with a narcissist is even more difficult and overwhelming. However, whether you and your partner are still together, separated, or divorced, you can protect yourself and your children by being proactive and equipped with ways to safeguard your family. For many divorced individuals, the difficulties of co-parenting may become overwhelming. This is particularly true for people who have ended their relationship with a narcissist. The experience itself may be very painful, depending on how the other side perceives themselves. There are strategies for co-parenting with a narcissist. Okay. Yes. Please hold. Yeah? Yeah. Just 1 second. What's up?
Are you on the phone?
No, I'm doing a live stream right now talking about narcissists.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to burden you.
Do you need something?
I just have a question.
Yes.
It was for budgeting?
Oh, okay. Yeah, come on.
Sorry.
You're fine. I just have a quick little question here. Quick little question from my daughter, so I gotta answer the question, okay?
Sorry.
I'll get right back with you here. Hold on.
So basically, it's about a U-Haul. I was wondering if that's enough.
They would want a deposit as well.
Yeah, they already sent me the invoice for $30 for pickup.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's enough, like the $20 after.
I know, but you also need gas too. So
yeah.
Whereabouts is it? Don't say it out loud, but whereabouts is it? Where?
Is where I'm picking it up.
No, I don't care about that. Where you're going.
Oh, like address-wise?
Yeah, like main area.
Like where the
Yeah.
Bolt.
Okay. All the way down over there? And you're getting the truck from over there?
Yeah.
You might want to try to find a truck that's closer to there, because you pay for your kilometers and you pay for your gas. Yeah,
but we had to pick up the stuff from here in AJ's.
Yeah, you got a point. Okay. Will that be enough? Probably not.
Okay.
To be safe, I would put it closer to 75, but it's probably going to be just over 50.
Okay.
Alrighty?
Alright. Thanks.
No problem. Okay, so let's start, shall we? Number 10, get a custody agreement. One approach to simplify the procedure is to get a custody agreement, which can be done with an assistance of a lawyer. If your ex-partner tries to manipulate the situation in order to gain greater influence, the legal system may assist you in stopping this. She's trying her hardest to make sure that I can't have custody. And like, I'm at a point where I'm not just going for joint custody anymore. I fear for my children because of the mental stuff she's been doing to them. How she acts in front of people compared to how I see her act the last time I saw her with my kids, like in person. That's the reason why I called the police that day. So a custody agreement should detail the child's visitation schedule with each parent. It should provide the child's whereabouts on a daily basis, including holidays. Parents should work closely together to protect their child's interests. Joint physical custody is when a child lives with both parents for an extended period of time. Certain jurisdictions demand a particular amount of parenting time shared to qualify as joint physical custody. Sole custody means that one person has physical and legal custody of the child. Joint custody means that both parents have access to the child. Once your agreement has been submitted and approved by the judge, it becomes a court order. This implies that you can take the other parent to court if they breach it. Okay, like now with my son, the mother's breached that like so many times, and it's like I don't have the money to get a lawyer and bring her to court, and like number 9, maintain your agreed upon parenting schedules. Once you've documented your legal agreement and about parenting schedules, it's critical to adhere to them. Develop a timetable that divides custody of the children between you and your ex-partner on a particular days and holidays. After your divorce is finalized and your plan is established, you are left with the responsibility of implementing the framework you and your ex agreed upon. Naturally, this is far more difficult if your ex is a narcissist. When a narcissist feels condemned or reprimanded, their narcissistic behavior may really manifest, leaving you with rather restricted tool set. The easiest things you can do is depend on strong positive reinforcements whenever your ex follows the plan, even if it is tough. Bear in mind that the narcissist is dependent on the affirmation and knowing that collaborating with you is a certain method to get it may be a powerful motivator. Meanwhile, ensure that you record it every time they make a mistake. When positive reinforcement fails, legal action may be necessary. If you've been through a traumatic divorce, you understand that this is the last resort. The trick is to avoid using this as a threat until you're really prepared to act, since narcissists have a tendency to act out when they're threatened. Just to add to the past year of hell, I didn't realize she was a narcissist until recently. she would push buttons and get it to the point where she'd cause arguments and fights. And once the tone of my voice would change to like, you're getting me pissed off now, um, cameras would come out. She would start recording things, and it's like, it's like she had an agenda the whole time to make me look so bad. And it's like, so many times it would not phase me, so it was just wasted stuff being recorded. But there's like 4 incidences in total, maybe, that like I was so pissed at what she was doing, um, and I didn't give a shit. And then the kids would get melty at the same time, like her kids and all that. So I'd just like basically bring them into, you want to try to get involved with an adult situation, which wasn't right. I'll start talking to me like an adult too. Anyways, number 8, limit contact with the narcissist when talking to them. When it comes to narcissist thinking, uh-oh, 1 second. Okay, just had to double check, make sure no one was writing here. Wrong one, where are you? When it comes to narcissist thinking, they see themselves as superior to everyone else. Limit your personal engagement with them as much as possible by communicating with them through messaging applications and emails rather than interacting with them personally. Narcissists thrive on the response they get from others, whether positive or negative. Establishing limits enables you to minimize your ex's power to enrage you. For instance, you may propose that you converse only by text or email. This way you'll have time to reply to requests and other messages that come your way. Additionally, it assists you with documentations. These limits may also apply to your ex's partner. Consider establishing precise times for your ex to phone and talk with your child during visitations if your court-ordered arrangement permits it. Additionally, stick to your guns. While the narcissist may first resist having limits established, you will discover that they are vital and helpful over time. Number 7, set boundaries and keep them. Another component to co-parenting with a narcissist is establishing and enforcing limits as necessary. Any remarks made regarding your parenting abilities or other personal assaults should be disregarded. When communicating with your ex, be succinct, knowledgeable, courteous, and firm, and never confess to making a mistake. Establish boundaries around your house. Do not let your ex in, as they will bring their venom. Teach and model for your children both social and emotional intelligence. Encourage their uniqueness and freedom. And that's what they're lacking right now, is any kind of structure, and that's why I need to get custody of them. Number 6, if your child is taken care of by a guardian ad item, try to make a good impression on them. A guardian ad item or litum, spelling mistake, sorry, or a gal, is an independent third party who is entrusted with the care of your children while you are occupied with possible legal challenges involving you and your ex-partner. Whether assigned by a court request, this individual may be a tremendous asset when dealing with narcissistic ex-partners. Make an attempt to win them over by making a good impression. In divorce or child custody matters, the court appoints a guardian ad litem or gal to serve as a neutral third party because they perform an investigation prior to presenting their findings to the court. A gal's recommendations hold substantial weight with the court because the child is not the intermediary. I don't know how to say that word, between you and a gal. Avoid pressuring them to behave differently than they typically would. The more typical and stress-free the environment is for the children, the more likely things will go well. If you want assistance in explaining some matters, consult with your attorney beforehand. They can assist you in communicating your side of the story more effectively. You are liable for the gal's charges, therefore arrange a payment plan if necessary. The greatest course of action in a custody dispute is to confess you need for assistance. You must locate an expert family lawyer who is familiar with gal investigations. Number 5, keep tabs on the mental health of your child. Children can be impacted by high stress circumstances. Picking up on their parents' habits, a kid may feel guilty over their parents' disagreement, or they may be the focus of your ex-narcissistic partner's characteristics. Communicate with your child. Assist them in comprehending their own their other parents' actions. Make it suitable for the child's age. Teach children that behavior of their other parent is about the parent, not about them. Be careful with your words. Make an effort not to speak negatively about the other parent. Consider nonverbal communication, conversing with friends and relatives in earshot, and comparing your child to your narcissistic ex. Keep an eye out for symptoms of abuse. Keep an eye out for anything that borders on physical, sexual, or emotional abuse. As parents, maintain a healthy lifestyle. While you cannot control how your former spouse raises your child, you can compensate with excellent parenting by being a good role model. Number 4, be the better parent in your situation. By understanding how children are impacted by their surroundings, you can assist them in developing positive habits by setting a positive example. Demonstrate to your children appropriate responses to events and how to do the right thing. Narcissistic characteristics such as lack of respect, incessant criticism, blaming, and trash talking are diametrically opposed to the ability necessary to establish a healthy co-parenting relationship. Therefore, while co-parenting in a classic sense is not a possibility, consider it a kind of parallel parenting. As a good parent, you must rise above the problems that come with co-parenting with a narcissist and prioritize your children's emotions. Maintain your zen. Be calm, collected, and composed. Be the cause for your children's serenity. Number 3, avoid having an emotional conflict around your children. Ensure that any verbal disagreements are kept out of earshot of your children. Avoid involving your children in any disagreements and keep matters between the two of you. Additionally, never employ your children as negotiators in your conversations. Adults that are anxious end up raising anxious youngsters. Those who pledge to be calm, polite, and emotionless with stability and consistency offer children a sense of security, shielding them from subtle psychological harm. The persistent emotional manipulation of a narcissist might be more detrimental to a child's growth and development than physical abuse. Children flourish when they are raised on a dependable foundation of unconditional love from a single stable parent. By expecting respect and cooperation, the insecure narcissist weaponizes parenthood. Demonstrate to your children that you earn, not demand, their respect. Create a secure sanctuary in the house. Number 2, consider therapy and counseling. Dealing with a narcissist has the potential to be detrimental to anyone's mental health. Numerous mental health professionals are trained specifically to deal with the unique circumstances surrounding divorce. Consider this for your children as well. Particularly, if you've observed your youngsters struggling to cope with their surroundings, your children will need it. Living with a narcissist of any sort can be detrimental to one's sense of self. Consider what it would be like to be raised by one. A skilled therapist can assist in lessening the heinous effect that a narcissistic parent has on your children's mental well-being. Encourage them to see a counselor once a week, if feasible, for as long as they require, which may be far into adulthood. Consider treatment as a kind of damage control. The sooner you begin, the better. Consider online treatment services if time, money, or finding the correct therapist for your child are constrained. Choose a qualified therapist and connect whenever and wherever it is convenient for you, by phone, video, or chat. Additionally, this is much easier to persuade your child to speak with a therapist electronically than it is to attend an in-person appointment. Number 1, take care of yourself during these difficult times. Having a healthy lifestyle, exercising, maintaining stable mental state is critical for every parent. Take care of yourself and strive to be the greatest possible caregiver for your children. Seek out whatever assistance you can and locate the support group you need. So, saying that, like, I'm getting all the help I can. I'm trying to take care of myself. When I did have them coming here, when there was no issue, I was being the best parent I can. I don't trash talk mom. the only thing I said to the children in regards to the situation was when I told them, like, look, if there's no reason that you guys are here, I'm allowed seeing you. I'd be able to come pick you up if mom drops that no contact order. She just has to go to the justice of the peace to do that. Yeah, apparently CAS said it like that. I should have done that because that's talking about it. It's like, okay, but that's all I said to them about it. She shows them videos that she's made, and like she goes right off the wall. But me saying one thing was wrong. And then when Leighton told me everything that he said, what was going on, I lost it. Like, they show up, and I'm excited to see them, and then he just comes running up to me to tell me, well, like, what mom's doing. I'm like, oh my god, like, you need to tell her how you feel about this. And I'm trying to like be, calm and cool about it. Like, gave him the phone, and then I could see how upset she made him. And I fucking lost it on her. I ended up calling. I wasn't supposed to call her. I called her, and I just went up one side of her, down the other side of her, because I'm like, I'm so sick and tired of the mental abuse. It's like, you can't do it to me, so you can do it to the kids now? My kids? Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, so much anger, and it's like, what's the real reason behind it? Because I didn't give you enough attention? Like, I quit everything, but it's too late now, it seems. But it's not. Can drugs make a narcissist worse? More than 40% of narcissists have a substance abuse disorder. Addictions can increase the narcissist's lack of impulse control, which can spiral into high rates of promiscuity. That means sleeping with other people. Compulsive gambling, loss of employment, and other erosion of relationships. On a good day, a narcissist lacks self-awareness with respect to their reckless and self-centered behaviors. When addictions are thrown into the mix, this this does something to their maladaptive, fucking big words I've never seen before, and toxic behaviors even further. Not only is the narcissist driven by their NPD, they are also compelled to fuel their addictions at the expense of their health and of the nearest and dearest. Since narcissists rely on external validation from other sources, addictions fuel this compulsion further. A narcissist will soothe themselves with their addiction of choice to ward off their inner turmoil. Trying to get a narcissist to recognize their NPD, let alone acknowledge their addictions, is an exercise in futility. They have to want to seek help and have a modicum of introspection to kick their addiction and to treat their underlying NPD. Sadly, neither is likely to occur. An addict without NPD is no walk in the park. But a narcissist in the throes of addiction is like throwing a grenade into a powder keg. Can an old narcissist change? Yes. Yes, an old narcissist can change, but it's not easy. This person was a recovered value of narcissism and can tell you that it was hard, very hard. You need to do a lot of inner work to come to terms with yourself and your past. Some of the things you need to do are admit that you were wrong, so wrong. Understand why people had a problem with you. Learn how to express yourself without hurting others. Learn to relate to others and be less of a loner. Repeat numbers 4 and 6. Repeat number 4. Learn to relate to others and be less of a loner. That was number 5. Number 6. Admit to yourself that you have been a bad person and commit to being a better person. Number 7. Have a constant self-control. 8. Be accountable for your actions and choices. 9. Do what you say you are going to do. 10. Get a grip on yourself and stop lying. 11. Talk less, listen more. 12. Be respectful to others. 13. Be genuinely interested in others. Okay, so I'm going to read all 13 of those over again. There was a question asked, can an old narcissist change? And a narcissist answered this question. So I want to read it exactly how it's written. So it's not me, so you know. Yes, an old narcissist can change, but it's not easy. I am a recovered value of narcissism, and I can tell you that it is hard, very hard. You need to do a lot of inner work to come to terms with yourself and your past. Some of the things you need to do are, this is what they're saying. 1. Admit that you are wrong, so wrong. 2. Understand why people have a problem with you. 3. Learn how to express yourself without hurting others. 4. Learn to relate to others and be less of a loner. Number 5. Repeat number 4. Number 4. Learn to relate to others and be less of a loner. 6. Admit to yourself that you have been a bad person and commit to being a better person. 7. Have constant self-control. 8. Be accountable for your actions and choices. 9. Do what you say you are going to do. 10. Get a grip on yourself and stop lying. 11. Talk less and listen more. 12. Be respectful to others. 13. Be genuinely interested in others. I want to repeat number 10. Get a grip on yourself and stop lying. Like, people will ruin people's lives with lies. And that's part of the smear campaign that's been going on, and then things that you'd say to the police, like, how does a narcissist feel when a person makes them feel that they don't exist? Well, a narcissist feels pretty bad when someone makes them feel like they don't exist. It feels like a big rejection and is quite hurtful. A narcissist might react by lashing out and trying to hurt the person who made them feel this way. Or they might withdraw and try to make themselves feel better by focusing on other things or people. Either way, it's not a pleasant experience for a narcissist to have someone make them feel like they don't exist. Okay, so I'm not going to get into any more. I think we've been on just for over an hour here. So those are those. So I'm going to eliminate some of these questions and answers that I just read, just so I don't end up reading them again in future episodes. Right, so yeah, like I noticed that no one was writing anything. That's fine. No questions. It's chat thing, so you don't have to chat or anything. So for future episodes that I am doing, and much like my other ones, so I pick a few different things, like lists, mostly like top 10s or things, and I'll spend about an hour on an episode, and I'll go over stuff. So today's episode was defining what exactly is the overview of narcissist. Yes, it sucks. I'm totally aware of how much it sucks when you're with one, and there is hope. Most places you look, they're going to say no, there isn't, because there isn't, but there is. You just gotta be willing to be less and respect that the person you're with is more superior than you. Now, if you love somebody and you're like a modest, humble person, it's no problem. The only problem it is when you're so devoted and you're empathic and like you have these feelings, and this is what you are. Like you are my everything, and I'll do anything for you. You are my queen. When the queen starts treating you like shit, and it's like, why are you doing that to me? Like, I would do anything for you, and you just talk to me like I'm a piece of shit. You look at me like I'm a piece of shit. You treat me like I'm a piece of shit. What the fuck did I do to you? That's when it starts getting hard. That's when it starts fucking with your mind. Your psychosis can go. First episode, I explained the 7 deadly things that can happen to empathic people once a narcissist like destroys them, like mental illnesses that empathic people might actually develop. I got two of them. I already had two of them, but I got two of them that are worse than they were before. So good luck if you're going down that adventure. Hopefully this isn't doing what I'm seeing it do right now. But thank you for watching. You guys have yourselves a wonderful time, and I hope that I was able to give you some information that is useful. Have a good one. Yeah.